Welcome to the Nexus Points podcast. Today we will cover several topics, including the NCAA, Usports, student-athlete lifestyles, and the challenges and opportunities ahead. My guest at this time, Coach Shaun Main, head football coach for the Champlain College St. Lambert Cavaliers. Coach Kenny Johnson, running backs coach for the Triads at Cegep Régional de la Naudière, and May Nguyen, student life advisor at the Vanier College Athletics Department. Guys, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us. Much appreciated, much obliged. I'm going to get right to it. Guys, the pandemic has taken a toll on the students, including student athletes. Many have dropped out. Many are struggling to remain on board. What's the overall message you guys are conveying to your students on your teams and the ones that will be joining you in the fall? Coach Main?
The biggest thing for me, I just try to tell them to keep the eye on the prize. Yes, it's a pandemic. Yes, it sucks with the situation we're in. But at the end of the day, you still need your education, right? I mean, a lot of guys want to play university football, and if they don't take care of what they're supposed to take care of in seizure, regardless if there's a pandemic or not, they're not going to be able to play at the next level. So I just tell them keep their eye on the prize, and whether there's a season or not, we will create a platform for you to showcase your talent.
May and Vanier, what are we telling the kids?
We're definitely telling them to hang in there. I'm providing them with Zoom workouts, trying to engage our student athletes, whether it be football players, basketball players, just trying to do some fun stuff and trying to keep them off the internet, trying to do some workout challenges, some fitness challenges, and also trying to get them to do other skills. It's a great time to learn other skills like cooking and laundry and stuff. And it's important for them to learn those aspects so they can go on to their future, where they go to university and have to cook on their own. It's a great time to step in the kitchen with their parents and learn some new tools. So it's about learning, finding a new passion as well, and saying to them, hey, hang in there. It's gonna happen soon. Stay in shape, and we'll see you on the field shortly.
Coach Johnson, what are we saying in L'Assomption?
Yeah, so I just let them know I'm a firm believer that, nothing lasts forever, right? So eventually all this is going to pass. We'll come back to some kind of normalcy. And, we do Zoom workouts as well. Coach Fox, the head coach, we try to keep the kids in shape. But yeah, we just try to keep them focused and, just try to lock in and try to see what's important right now, which is family, academics, right? Everybody's studying from home. So just trying to stay focused and understand that soon this will subside.
Coach Main, back to you. You've played the game, Grey Cup winner with the Owls. What folks might not realize is that you grew up in the Quebec football system. Can you give us the lowdown on where it is that you started and your overall path?
Where do I begin? First of all, I started with the Sun Youth Hornets. And, I was very fortunate enough after playing for Sun Youth, I was picked up by Vanier. I played my years at Vanier, and through Vanier, Coach Earl Gagnon, along with Coach Spy, attended my degree in sociology at Connecticut, and then after that, 6 years in the CFL. It was an adventure. I definitely had to learn how to cook, that was for sure, so May was right on that one.
Nice. Coach Johnson, your story is quite fascinating. As many Canadians sit here and dream of going to the NCAA, you, an American, also crossed the border. However, you came north to play ball in Montreal. Talk to us about your path as a player.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. I played, football all the way since I was 8. Two-time all-conference, all-state. Got a scholarship to play at SWAZU, located in Oklahoma. Then transferred to Missouri Valley. Played there for a year. Realized I'm not a small-town guy, which like most of these colleges in the States are. They're in this middle of nowhere, farmland. I'm a city guy. I then got a call from Coach Mickey Donovan. He was bringing up a few Americans to kind of try to change things. I said, why not? I fell in love with the city of Montreal, and Graduated with my degree in sociology from Concordia University and been in love with the city ever since.
Nice. Well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
May, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think you've played the game, but you've been involved with these players in their lives from the moment they set foot in the halls of Vanier to the moment they say goodbye. So tell us, what are the most common challenges student athletes face during their tenure in Cegep?
The biggest challenge I find is that students don't realize what great opportunity the college experience is. It's great 3 years. And when you get into your first year of Cegep, I tell you just to take a second, enjoy it, and spend the time to get to know your teammates, to get to know everyone at the college, and join other activities and be part of the school spirit. I think it's something that all student athletes and all students should really be involved in.
Coach Johnson, I want to go back to you for a moment. What was the key to your success as a player, and who do you openly credit for it?
Mark.
Oh, is that for me?
No, Coach Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, so I credit my family, and my mother mainly, just because she would be the one that would drive me all over town to these camps. She'd take me to the Baylor camps. She paid for NCSA, which is a service to put me out there. She supported me. Anytime a coach would contact her, she'd let me know. She's forwarded me all the emails that they would send. She was on it because she understood this was my chance to have my education paid for. So everything goes to her.
Huge shout out to mom, and all moms out there. All right, Coach Main, we'll go to you now. There are many ways to make it to the NCAA. Is there such a thing as a better path to the NCAA?
I wouldn't necessarily say there's a better path, but I'm definitely a firm believer of my coaches. I mean, for me, when I was at Vanier, I was surrounded by great coaches, and they went out on a limb for me and bringing us to camps and going that route. I know nowadays a lot of kids are going to high schools in the States and try to go that route, or a prep school, or recruiting services that are offered and things like that. I don't want to sit here and say one's better than the other, but I'm definitely a firm believer of putting my faith in my coach's hands, because those are the guys when I was at Vanier, I saw every day. They looked out for my best interests and things like that. Whereas a recruiting service, there's always some kind of somebody's winning. I mean, yes, you're winning, receiving a scholarship, it plays out, but you're kind of putting your faith in your hands of somebody you don't really know their full intentions, Mm-hmm. And for the high school route, I'm not opposed for that. That's another route, or the prep route, because I know a lot of guys went that route also. But for me personally, I kind of like the Cegep route, but that's me.
May, what are the most misunderstood, underutilized, misused services at the disposal of student athletes?
I would tell you all the services. I find our student athletes don't use the services that our colleges offer. From financial aid to book loans, you can go in your first semester and get your books for free if you know who to go see and have that conversation with them. There's all kinds of resources as well, like English tutors, French tutors, math tutors, and people who look over your essays with you. All these resource centers and professionals that are there to help these student athletes. Often student athlete troubles, or they're scared to say they need the help. They need to be able to communicate and speak up and say, hey, I need some help. I'm having a more difficulty in this class. And that's the major issue right now. We have so many resources, but they just don't use them as much.
Coach Johnson, I'm really interested in this one. What to you stands out the most when you compare Canadian football to American football in terms of athletic abilities on the field?
Yeah, so I actually believe, the athletes have a lot more in common than what we believe. The biggest difference are the linebackers, right? We have a bigger field here in Canada, so the linebackers need to be smaller and quicker. But other than that, I've played against a lot of players here in the CIS that I could compare to players that I played against in the NCAA. You know, a lot of the players here, they sell themselves short because of the media and the infrastructure that the NCAA has. So anytime you see something on TV, it's larger than life, right? So, you know, they can't wrap their minds around how close they actually are to playing at the NCAA level. You know, that's not me saying that every player at the Usports level is playing at, you know, Alabama's level or whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying about, you know, you might have 5 guys on that roster that can play in the NCAA.
Oh, there's a statement.
Yeah.
What do you think are the most important character traits required to make it to the NCAA, in your opinion, Coach Johnson?
You have to be coachable. I think that's the most important. The most important thing is being coachable.
Coach Main, same question for you.
Oh, it definitely is a fact that you're coachable.
Yeah, as well.
In the States, you know, coaches really don't have time to spend on a knucklehead or things like that. They'll just ship you on and bring in another guy. So it's all about, are you coachable? Do you listen to what they do? Can you execute what they want?
Coach Johnson, back to you on this one. What do you find yourself repeating today that are lines taken from or inspired by former coaches?
Oh, hey, you got to focus on the academics. You know, it's funny, but it's so true. And the sad thing is, I can still remember myself talking to my coach, and it just goes through one ear and out the other. You know, because everything is about playing ball, but you can only go so far with, you know, if you don't have great academics. So if you focus on academics, you'll open up so many more doors. No.
Coach Main, last question for you. Which is harder, finding your Cegep academic program or finding your university academic program?
For me, it was finding I think me personally, it's the Cegep. I mean, you're coming out of high school, you're just all about playing games. You know, now you're in Cegep and you kind of got to figure out what you want to do in life. And I'm not gonna lie to you, for me, I just wanted to play football. So trying to figure out what I like, it was tough. You know, I was fortunate enough to have, like I said, at Vanier, you know, the infrastructure is there to kind of help you and guide you along the way. At Champlain, I'm doing the same thing for my players, but it's definitely trying to find your program in Cegep. Because if you pick the wrong program and you're playing a sport, oh, it's a disaster.
May, you're laughing, but is he on par? Is he right?
You know, I love hearing two coaches who were players saying that the most important thing is academics, and they're absolutely right at 100%. I mean, it is very important to pick your college program, but I would like to say that you can always choose a program and then you can go around it as well. So it's not detrimental for you to know exactly what you're doing in Cegep. The biggest advice I would tell for students is to communicate, because if you don't talk to people and you don't let people know what you're thinking or your questions concerning programs, no one's a mind reader and no one's going to be able to help you. So ask the questions. Yeah. There's everyone out there to help you. But I love to hear our coaches say academics is the key, and I love it. It's so true.
2 thumbs up, boys. May, I will leave the final question with you. What's the number one thing student athletes should know right now as high school seniors prior to entering Cegep in the fall?
The one thing that they need to know is you got to work hard, and you got to work hard, and you got to have good time management skills and good study habits, right? You got to come in ready to go. There's no bell that's going to wake you up to get to class. There's no one going to tell you to force you to go to school. You got to stay disciplined in your sport. You got to stay disciplined in your academics to be successful in college. So learn your time management and your study skills early. Work.
Guys, thank you very much for this. Much appreciated. It was fun. And I wish you all the best for this year in 2021. I hope all sports come back and we have an opportunity to put our kids back on the field and courts and whatnot in order to be able to do what it is that we do best.